it's Tracey Campbell here. I'm going to share my latest design team layout that I've created for Confessions of a Paper Addict cut files. I am using the January 2020 bundle cut file. There's 6 different flowers and feathers, little bit of a boho look to this bundle, and it's really quite cute. I'm going to use it on a baby boy layout today because boys can have flowers as well. So what I'm doing is just backing a light blue baby boy pattern paper. It's quite an old paper that I've had around for a little bit, onto a piece of white cardstock, mixing up some heavy white gesso and a bit of Colour Blast by Be Arty colour shimmer dust in Duke colour into the heavy white gesso, just to create a bit of a background solid colour over the worded pattern paper, just to make the die cut stand out a little bit more, the cut file. I have cut out the flowers and feather bundle and some of the dangly feathers as well. I'm just going to mat my photo, and I'm just cutting down the edge of this paper. There's 6x6 pad sheets in various colours of light blues and florals and stripes, just with a little blue and grey in it, on a black and white photo. And I've just cut down the edges just to soften the edges instead of it just being a solid rectangle. I'm just giving it a little bit of a soft edge to it instead of it being straight up and down. Just going to go ahead and apply a little bit of pattern, no, it's not pattern paper, a little bit of double-sided sticky tape to each of the photo mats that I'm going to be using. And I'm doing this really quickly, so I'm taking the backing off each of the mats just so I can just add them and line them up and stick them down on top of each other in one hit. And I'm doing a bit of a mixture between pattern blues, stripes and the florals, so it just kind of works it out. I now decide that I wanted a bit of extra of the blue sticking out the top corner, so I've just cut off the corner that was hidden completely underneath the photo, and I do this again with the pink and also with the stripes, just taking off the corners that you can't see any of it and making them stick out a little bit more. Yes, it's changing the shape from the rectangles and putting a bit of a triangular shape into the matting. Just give it a little bit of movement and extra shape around it. I'm just going to stick it down right on the top of where I put the gesso, and I'm using the double-sided sticky tape as well as the glue because it is going over the gesso, and sometimes the double-sided sticky tape doesn't quite adhere well to the mixed media or the gesso. I'm just popping it down there. Once again, I don't stick anything down permanently straight away because I do tend to move things around. And as you'll see, I just kind of moved it back and thought it was too high up and I wanted more of the blue showing. And I've created the blue, so I want to make a feature out of the cut file, but I did want to leave it very white. I wanted the layout to be baby blue or blue in colour, but I wanted the die cut to be a feature, so I wanted it to stand out. That's why I made the blue of the pattern paper a bit more solid with the gesso. So I'm just using a bit of white glue that dries clear to stick the cut file down straight over the top of the gesso and the corner of the photo. And I'm just moving it around until I get it in place. And there she is, just tapping it down. My gesso is not quite dry at this stage, so I am being very careful, making sure I don't get any of the gesso onto my fingers when I'm patting it down, and also onto the cut file. And adding a little bit of glue, so I'm just sticking some of the dangly feathers, the feathers and the beads, down from the flourish, the flower flourish, is that how you say it? From the cluster of flowers and feathers. I'm just playing with them and making them dangle a little bit as if they're hanging down from the flourish. And just moving it around. And tucking them behind the photo and behind the cut file so it looks like it's part of the one cut file. I must admit, this is one of my favourite bundles in the shop. It's very pretty with the flowers and the feathers, and I'm really into the boho look at the moment, and this just screams boho to me. Think of dream catchers and florals and flowers and just pretty things, and it goes well with boy layouts like I'm doing now, and also girl layouts. Teenagers will love it. Little soft delicate photos for the of babies. It's just little girl photos. It's just a really versatile cut file bundle to have. Great value as well. And I'm just adding a few gems, some blue and clear gems to the larger dangle, where I guess in a dream catcher it would be a bead, but to represent that I'm just putting these gems on, rotating between the blue and the clear gem. When I do a bit of close-up you'll see it a little bit more clearer than what you can in here, and just popping them down in the dangly bits, and then also some of the little bead or seeded foliages in the flower cluster. And I'm deciding if I needed any more, but I'm loving the look of it right now and how delicate it looks, and I don't think it needs much more than that, because as I said, I would like the cut file to be the focus and to be the embellishment on its own. Now I'm going to add a white title to my page. This is keeping in the theme of keeping it light and airy for a baby photo, and the title is just some cocoa vanilla chipboard in Remember This is the title. So the photo is actually of my parents and their very first great grandson. So the first grandson, but also, or the first great grandchild, but also the first boy in our family. So yeah, it's quite good. Very exciting for all of us. And I'm just doing a little bit of journaling about remembering this, and then there's Liza and what day he was born on. And he's a brand new spanking baby. He was only born on the 28th of February, so he's almost 2 weeks old now, and oh, we're so happy on occasion. There's a bit of a close-up so you can see the bling bling in gems and how delicate it looks, and how the cut file makes an awesome feature all on its own with a little bit of help from some backing colour. So very delicate photo, very delicate layout. And I hope that you've enjoyed this creative process that I've taken you and shared with you. And please remember to visit the Confessions of a Paper Addict Etsy store, where there are all sorts of awesome cut files. Just go through and pick which ones you want and take them to the checkout, and I'll see you later. Bye.